Okay, so before we begin with the lesson, let's do a very quick review of what we did last week. So I have 225 divided by 7. I need to find out what the answer is. Colin, am I able to solve this problem sideways?
No.
Am I able to solve division sideways at all?
No.
Unless it's what? Who thinks they know the answer? Unless it's what? Aaron?
A basic fact.
A basic fact. Because do we have to show work if it's a basic fact?
No.
No, we don't. So we have to use a bracket. Which part of this problem goes in the bracket, Colin?
225.
225, because 225 is the,
Greatest number.
which means it's the
Dividend.
dividend. Remember, the dividend goes inside the bracket. Hey, oops, that's me. Lena, where does this 7 go?
It goes beside the dividend.
Beside the dividend. On this over here? No, on the short side of the bracket, because it is the divisor. Very good. What's the name of the part that goes on top? Mason? The quotient. Sometimes in division we have one extra piece. What is that extra piece called? Smith?
The remainder.
The remainder. Where does it go?
Next to the quotient.
Next to the quotient. Over here? In front of
No.
the quotient?
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, in front of the quotient?
No.
Where does it go?
Behind the quotient.
Behind the quotient. Okay, now we just need to do the steps. Who can tell me the very first step in words? Victoria. Divide. Okay, more than that though. Loudly.
We see how many times our divisor can fit into our first digit of our dividend.
Good. We see how many times our divisor can fit into the first digit of our dividend. How many times does 7 fit into 2, Victoria? 0. So do I put 0 up here and then multiply 0 times 7 to get 0 and then subtract 2 minus 0 and then bring down? No. What can I do instead?
You just take, you add.
Who thinks they can help her out? She's on the right track. I know she knows what to do.
Yeah.
But who can put it into words? Carla.
We skip the first part of our dividend and move and uncover one of the digits.
Okay, but we
And
don't
see.
skip. We don't skip. Skip makes it sound like, okay, we don't worry about this 2. We just go to this 2 and say how many times 7 will fit into this 2. So we don't skip. We just move to the next digit. We just move to the next digit. 7, our divisor will not fit into the first digit of our dividend 2. So we look at the next digit. Victoria, do we ignore the first digit? No. Instead of seeing how many times 7 will go into 2, or 7 will go into this 2, we're seeing how many times 7 will go into 22. How many times will 7 go into 22, Victoria?
It will go in
3 times. Where do we put that 3? Do we put it at the top or at the bottom?
We put it above.
We put it above. Do we put it above the first digit?
We put it above the second.
The second digit, because we're not saying 7 will go into 2 3 times. We're saying 7 will go into 22 3 times. Okay, who can tell me the next step in words? Not just the one word, but the whole thing. Smith.
We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor.
Good. We multiply the digit we just got, which is 3, by our divisor, which is 7. So, Smith, 3 times 7 is what?
21.
21. And we just line it right up with that 22 that we divided. What do we do next? Who can tell me in words? Not just the one word, but the whole phrase. Zadie.
We subtract the first two digits.
Switch them, flip them.
We subtract the number we just got by the first.
But there's a little, there's something better we can say. We subtract the, Colin, can you help her out?
We subtract.
Zadie, make sure you're listening.
We subtract the answer to a multiplication problem from our first two digits. Oh, from our dividend.
So, did you hear? So what do? We subtract the,
answer from the multiplication problem from the first two digits in our dividend.
good. So we subtract the answer to our multiplication problem, which is 21, from the first two digits of our dividend, which is 22. Zadie, 22 minus 21 is 1. Who can tell me what we do next in words? Carla.
We look for a digit we bring down.
So we will bring down. Where do we look for something to bring down? What part of our problem?
We will look at the dividend.
We will look at the dividend. How do we know that we're not bringing down either of these twos, Carla?
Because there's a number underneath.
There's a number underneath it. Carla, make sure that your sound is on your microphone. And so then all we hear is your voice.
Okay.
Can you switch it really, really quick? Okay, Carla, I'll come back to you, okay? Okay, so Carla just told us we know we go to the dividend to bring down. We know we can't bring either of these twos down because there's digits underneath them. So we just move to the next digit. This 5. Carla, are you ready? Okay, you're ready. Carla, we're going to bring down this 5. How do we show that we've brought it down?
Put a arrow underneath it.
We put an arrow underneath it. We bring the 5 down, and we just created a what?
We created a new dividend.
We created a new dividend. What is our new dividend? 15. 15. Okay. Now what do we do? Who can tell me in words? Aaron.
We multiply our new dividend by our divisor.
Okay. Is that a basic fact? 15 times 7. If we multiply our new dividend by our divisor?
No, we divide.
Okay, so what does that mean? We divide. We don't multiply. What does that mean? Remember, divide always starts with see how many times. So finish it.
We see how many times our divisor can go into our new dividend.
Good. We see how many times our divisor can go into. That stays the same every time, right? That part doesn't change, just the last part. In this case, new divisor instead of first digit. So, how many times will our divisor 7 go into 15, our new dividend, without going over, Aaron?
2 times.
2. Where do we put that answer? Up here or down here? Up top? Down at the bottom?
Up to
Up top. Here? Above the 2? Above this hundreds place? No. Remember, every time we bring down, the next time we put a new digit in our quotient, it goes right above that digit we just brought down. We just brought down the 5. So where does our next digit go? The answer to our division problem, Aaron? Above the 5. Okay. Next we do what? Make sure you can tell me in words. The whole, not just the one word, but the whole step. Zari.
We multiply the digit we just got by the new dividend.
That would mean we do 2 times 15. Is that true?
No.
What do?
We multiply the digit we just got from.
Not from. We multiply by. We don't
We
multiply.
multiply the digit we just got by the divisor.
By the divisor. So we multiply the digit we just got, 2, by our divisor, 7. Zari, 2 times 7 is what?
14.
14. Who can tell me in words what the next step is? The whole step, not just the first word. Carla? Come on, guys. We should all be raising our hands. We've done this so much. We've done this. Today is officially 1 month since we started this chapter. Carla, tell me in words, not numbers.
Subtract our answer from a multiplication problem and subtract it from our new dividend.
Good. We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem, which was 14, from our new dividend, which is 15. Carla, 15 minus 14 is what?
1.
1. Okay, who can tell me what we do next? Lena.
So now we have a remainder because
Well, how do we know? First, what do we always do? Every time we subtract, first we check for
anything to bring down.
anything to bring down. Do we have anything to bring down? How do you know, Lena?
Because there's already digits or an arrow under them.
There's already digits or arrows under every digit of the,
This is
this is the divisor,
dividend.
the dividend. So now we need to,
Now we need
before we say, yes, this is our remainder, what do we have to do?
to have
Zadie, can you help her out?
we have to compare.
So what do we have to do, Lena?
We have to compare.
We have to compare. We're comparing the answer to our subtraction problem to what? To the divisor. It needs to be greater than, less than, or equal to our divisor.
Less
Less than. Is 1 less than 7? So 1 becomes the
remainder.
remainder. So now, class, 225 divided by 7 is what?
32.
One more time.
32 remainder 1.
32, remainder 1. Now, if this was a word problem, could we leave the answer like this? Could we say this was our final answer if it was a word problem? No, because is there such thing as remainder 1 of anything? No. The remainder means there is 1 of something left over, not remainder 1 pennies. That's not possible. Okay, so now go to page 379 and please read the sentences at the top. Sorry.
Dividing 3 and 4 digit numbers is similar to dividing 2 digit numbers.
We already know that because I already told you guys that. I said when you add digits to the dividend, you just run through those 4 steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and extra time. You go through those 4 steps the same amount of times as there are digits in the dividend. So if we have 3 digits in our dividend, how many times are we going to do that set of 4 steps? Zari.
3 times.
3 times. If we have a dividend with 4 digits, how many times are we going to run through that set of 4 steps? Mason.
4 times.
4 times. Unless, of course, we have something like this, where the divisor can't go into the first digit. But that means you just skip one of them. You don't have to do it. So, everybody, finger or pencil on example 1. Make sure you're listening and following along every single second. If you are listening and following along, this lesson will only take us 2 days. Because I don't think we're going to have time to do independent practice today. It's just not happening. But if you are listening and focusing and ready to answer the next step, we will get through this in 2 days. There's a chance we could get through it in 1. But you guys have to be on point, every single one of you. And we can do it. That will be our goal. before the end of February, let's get through a lesson in one day. Does everybody agree that that's a good goal to have? A math lesson. Okay. Finger or pencil on example 1. We're going to read it twice. First time we're going to visualize. Second time we're going to find the important information. There are 678 people in line to ride a roller coaster. I am not going to count out 678 people, but I know that is a massive group of people. If you've ever been to Disney World, that would probably be one of those times where the ride line is like 75 minutes. You know, they have those signs that say like how long it is. 678 people in line probably means you're going to be waiting for like an hour and a half. Okay, let's go to the next sentence. Each coaster car holds 6 people. Okay, I'm imagining a roller coaster car, and it's got 6 seats in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One person can sit in each, so it holds 6 people. This is not the type, it's a roller coaster, it's not the type of ride that you can bring a baby and have it sit on your lap. It wouldn't work. Babies aren't allowed. Okay, how many coaster cars are needed so that everyone in line rides the coaster once? So I need to figure out, okay, how many cars is that? Okay. First things first. Remember, I model example 1, which means you better be focusing. Do not zone out just because I'm not calling on anybody. I find my question first. How many coaster cars are needed so that everyone in line rides once? I know my answer unit will come right after how many, which means the noun coaster cars is my answer unit. I'm just going to shorten it to cars because coaster is just an adjective that describes what kind of cars. Not a car you ride on the street, but a roller coaster car. Now, I don't know, that could be my remainder, it could be my quotient. I have to keep reading to figure it out. Let me read the rest of the question. Are needed so that everyone in line rides the coaster once. Okay, I'm not sure what my other unit is, but I do know from that sentence, all they're saying is that I can do the division. I can do it. I can divide it. Everybody's going to ride once. But that also means everyone has to ride once. Which means if there are people left over, do I get to say you don't get to ride? No, because everyone rides once. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. There are 678 people in line to ride a roller coaster. I see a number and I see the word people, but I don't know if that's my other unit yet. So let's read the next sentence. Each coaster car holds 6 people, okay? I see each, which I know means I'm multiplying or dividing. I see coaster car after, which matches my answer unit. So that didn't tell me my other unit. The word after each didn't tell me. Sometimes it does, in this case it doesn't. But I know that each of these cars is going to hold 6 people. So that means I already know cars are my groups because they each hold 6 people, which means people are my items, which means people has to be my other unit. It's telling us our answer unit, the cars, the groups, has inside of them 6 people. So that means people are the items in each group, the cars. So now I know my other unit is people, so I can go back and put a box around 678 people and 6 people. Now I need to think. If there are 678 total people, and I'm putting them into coaster cars in groups of 6, am I going to end up with more than 678 coaster cars? Lena?
No.
No. So I'm doing what operation? Dividing. Which means my equation looks like 678 divided by 6. I know my larger number is always my dividend, so it goes inside the bracket. I know my smaller number is always the divisor, so it goes to the left of the bracket. Now I just need to divide. Step 1. See how many times my divisor can fit into the first digit of my dividend. This is where it's a little different because every time we have seen 3-digit dividends, but the divisor never fit into the first digit, so we were still only going through our group of 4 steps 2 times. This time though, class, does our divisor fit into the first digit of our dividend?
Yes.
Yes. 6 can go into 6 1 time. Then I just go to my next step. Multiply the digit I just got by my divisor. 1 times 6 is what, class?
6.
Class?
6.
6. So again, I'm just going to line it up with the digit I'm dividing. Next step is subtract. I subtract the answer to my multiplication problem from the first digit of my dividend. Class, 6 minus 6 is what?
0.
0. Next, I need to bring down. So I'm going to look at my dividend. I know I can't use this first digit because there's a digit underneath it. So I move to my next digit. Is there a digit underneath or an arrow underneath that? No. So I only bring down the 7. This is important. Write a note to yourself to the side. Never, in all caps, with an underline, never bring down, never bring down more than 1 digit. That's it. Never, ever, ever, when you get to the bring down step, never will you bring down more than 1 digit. So we see that when we got to this bring down step, 7 and 8 were available. Do we bring down 7 and 8? Do we bring down 7 and 8? Ethan, no, we only bring down 7 or 8. The 7, or whatever digit comes next. Class, read this note all together. I need you to read it because I can guarantee you I'll have people trying to bring the 7 and the 8 down. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Never
bring down more than 1 digit.
1 digit.
Never bring down more than 1 digit. Okay. So we just brought down the 7, not the 8, just the 7. We didn't skip the 7 and bring down the 8. We didn't bring down the 7 and the 8. We only brought down the 7. I created a new dividend. Class, what's my new dividend? 7. So now I need to start over again. I just divided the hundreds. Now I need to divide the tens. So now I'm doing the same thing. How many times does my divisor fit into my new dividend? My new dividend is 7. My divisor is 6. Class, how many times will 7 fit into my new dividend of 7? Class?
Once.
Ugh, I wish that they would just let us do all this, but whatever. Once. So even when I'm writing on top of a number, you should be doing that too, because it helps with your muscle memory. You might be like, but it's already there. Why do I have to write it? Well, because writing it and seeing it and hearing it is better than just seeing it. Okay, now we just go through the steps again. I'm going to do it up here. Actually, let's just do it up here because we'll be able to fit it if you write small. So 6, our divisor goes into our new dividend 7 once. And we're going to line it up with that tens place. Next, we multiply. We multiply the digit we just got, which is 1, by our divisor, which is 6. Class, 1 times 6 is what?
6.
6. And again, we just line that up with our new dividend. Next, we subtract again. We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem, which is 6, from our new dividend, which is 7. Class, 7 minus 6 is 1. Now, up until now, we've been done after doing the steps twice, right? So this would be our remainder. But, are we done? Have we brought everything down or used it? No. We've used this 6 in the hundredths place. We've used this 7 in the tens place. But have we used the 8 in the hundredths place? In the ones place, sorry. Have we used the 8 in the ones place? Class? No. So that's why I told you, always go back and check to see if there's something to bring down. There is something to bring down. There's this 8 in the ones place. We know that because there's no digit and there's no arrow. So we're going to go ahead and draw our arrow. And then we'll put it next to that answer to the subtraction problem to create our new dividend. So now we have another new dividend. Class, what's our new dividend?
18.
18. Do we finish? Is that our remainder? No. We just divided. We just brought down. So now we need to divide. Same thing. See how many times our divisor goes into our new dividend. Class, how many times will our divisor 6 go into our new dividend 18?
3 times.
3 times. So we line that up. Remember, every time we bring down, the answer to our division goes right above the digit we just brought down. We just brought down the 8. When we divided, we saw how many times 6 would go into 18. We put the answer right above the digit we just brought down. Now we multiply again. We multiply the digit we just got, 3, times our divisor, 6. Class, 3 times 6 is what?
18.
18. Thank you to those of you who know your basic facts. You may be like, but that was only like a second. How are we supposed to know? Well, yeah, you're supposed to know your basic facts in a second. If you don't, keep practicing. Okay, so we just multiplied the digit we just got, 3, by our divisor 6 to get 18. Next, we subtract. We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend. Class, 18 minus 18 is?
0.
0. Now we check. We just finished subtracting. So we check for anything else to bring down. Do I have anything else to bring down, class?
No.
No. I know that because I have a digit under the first digit. I have an arrow under the second digit. And I have an arrow under the third digit. So now I'm ready to compare. Is the answer to our subtraction problem 0 less than our divisor 6?
Yes.
Yes. So that means this 0 is the class?
Remainder.
Do we write remainder 0? No. We just leave it off. So, class, 678 divided by 6 is?
113.
113. We know the 6 is the number of cars. I'm sorry, whoops. Not the number of cars. The number of people in each car. The 678 is the total people. If our divisor is the people in each car, the items in each group, then our quotient has to be the number of groups. Class, what is the number of groups? Is it cars or people?
Cars.
Class, thank you, Cullen. Class, is the groups cars or people? You have a place to look to figure this out. Cars. Some of you I know only waited for other people to answer, but look, you have this right here. Cars are groups. People are items. If the divisor is the people in each car, the items in each group, and I literally told you the quotient has to be the groups. What are the groups? Well, if you look at your notes, if you took them, which you should have, then you will see, oh, cars are the groups. So that means if the quotient is groups, it's cars. Use your tools. Don't just wait for other people. Don't wait for me to give you the answer. Don't wait for other people to say the answer. Use what you have. So, read this last sentence and fill in the blank. Kingston.
So 113 coaster cars are needed.
113 coaster cars are needed. There are 678 total people. They fit in the coaster cars 6 at a time. They need 113 cars. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to example 2. We'll get through example 2, and then we'll see how much time is left. We might save the guided practice for tomorrow and do both guided practice problems tomorrow, and then you'll have the rest of the time to do independent practice. Rather than doing one today, we'll see how much time we have. If we have a lot of time left, Carla, what's important in that sentence? A roller coaster takes about 4 minutes to travel its 1,970-foot track.
We see about.
Okay? Now, it does say about 4 minutes, but is it asking us about how many feet?
No.
No, so that's just telling us the roller coaster doesn't take exactly 4 minutes, but if we round the time it takes, it's 4 minutes. So that about does not tell us to use compatible numbers to estimate. That about just tells us use 4 minutes instead of like 3 minutes and 52 seconds, which is hard to divide. So what else do we see that's important? Carla?
Minutes.
Well, what else? We see minutes. What else do we see with minutes?
1,000.
Is that with minutes? Who can help her out? Lena?
Travel?
Come on, guys. Zadie. Wait, you already answered one. Colin.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Now, Lena and Carla, we're only looking, we know our units. We know we're multiplying or dividing. So that means now we're finding the pieces of our problem. We're finding numbers matched up with our answer, with our units. We know minutes is 1 unit. So we have 4 minutes. That tells us that's one part of our problem. What's the other important thing we see? Colin, just go ahead.
1,970-foot track.
So 1,970 foot, which means the same thing as 1,970 feet. Our answer unit is feet. Foot means the same thing. We have a number before it. Anytime we have a number before one of our units, we know that's part of our problem. So that means, now we need to figure out, okay, what are we doing? If there are 1,970 feet and it takes 4 minutes to go the whole way around, would we end up with more feet than 1,970? Class?
No.
No, definitely not. Because it takes 4 minutes to do them all. So it's definitely not going to take more than that. So we are dividing. We know the larger number is our dividend. Remember, if I'm writing, you're writing over top. We know the smaller number is our divisor. So we know we're solving 1,970 divided by 4. We're not going to estimate because we're just not. So now we have to write it out so that we can solve it. We know the dividend goes inside the bracket. Oops. 1,970 goes inside the bracket. 4 goes outside the bracket. Since this is a word problem, let's stop really quick to see the items in each group. Okay, now we have to figure out, are feet the items or are minutes the items? Think about it. Don't just wait for somebody else to answer. Carla, focus. Put your headphones on both ears, completely covering them. Are feet the items or are minutes the items? What are we putting inside the other? Are we putting minutes inside feet? Are we saying it's this many feet in 1 minute? Or are we saying it's this many minutes in wait, did I say the same thing? No. Or is it this many minutes in 1 foot? Victoria, which one's the items and which one is the groups?
The minutes are the items, and then the feet are the groups.
Good. The minutes are the items. The feet are the groups. Let me give you a hint. Whichever number is your dividend, that unit will be the items. Some of you are zoning out. Whatever number, whatever unit goes with the dividend, that's going to be the items, because the dividend always represents the total number of what? Aaron. Total number of items. So whatever unit goes with the dividend, that's going to be the items. Wait, hold on. Okay. I got it mixed up. But no. So Victoria, whatever number, I thought you said, and then I wrote what you said, but. Because we know 1,970 is our dividend. The dividend always represents the total number of items, which means if foot or feet goes with our dividend, that's the items. Total feet. Okay? There are 4 groups. Because we're trying to figure out how many of these are in 1 minute. If there's 4 minutes, that means we're trying to see how many items are in each group. How many minutes, oops, not minutes, sorry. How many feet in each minute? Do you see why feet are the items, minutes are the groups? Because it says, how many feet does the coaster travel in 1 minute? Which means our answer will be how many feet the coaster travels in 1 minute. This is how far it travels in 4 groups. Like 4 groups, 4 minutes. One of those minutes is a group. There are 4 groups, there are 4 minutes. We're trying to figure out, okay, how many of these feet are in each of those minutes? So now we're going to solve. Step 1. I wish they would have had us do this because, whatever. Okay, so step 1. We see how many times our divisor will go into the first digit. Smith, how many times will our divisor 4 go into our first digit of our dividend? 1?
0 times.
0 times. Do we write 0, Smith?
No.
No, we just move how many places over?
1 place over.
1. Do we say how many times 4 will go into 19, Smith? I'm sorry, well, do we say how many times 4 will go into 9, Smith?
No.
No, we see how many times 4 will go into
19.
19, which is how many, Smith?
4 times.
4 times. We write that 4 above the 9, not the 1, because we're saying 4 goes into 19 4 times, not 4 goes into 1 4 times. Okay. We just divided. There are 4 groups of 4 in 19. 4 fits into 19 4 times. Now we multiply. Victoria, we multiply the digit we just got by our divisor, which means we're multiplying what?
4 times.
Loudly.
4 times.
4 times 4, which equals?
Which
16. So we write that below the first two digits. So now we multiply. Next, we subtract. We're subtracting the answer to our multiplication problem from the first two digits of our dividend. Michaela, what are we subtracting? What's the equation?
We're subtracting 1 minus 1.
We're subtracting 1 minus 1. Is that what we have here? And even if you're going place by place, do we ever start with the greatest place value in subtraction? No. What's our whole subtraction problem, Michaela?
19 minus 16.
19 minus 16. What is 19 minus 16?
3.
3. So we just divided, multiplied, subtracted. Now we bring down. Lena, we look at our dividend. Do we have things to bring down? Yes. How many things do we have to bring down? That we have possible to bring down? How many things could we possibly bring down? Like, what have we not used yet? How many digits have we not used yet? 2. Do we bring both of them down? We always bring how many down at a time?
Only one digit.
Only 1. Do we skip this 7 and go to the 0 just because we want to make it easier for ourselves? No. The first available digit that has nothing underneath it is what?
Can you say that?
The first available digit that has nothing underneath it is what?
Is the one
Well, what is it?
7.
7. So I'm going to draw an arrow to show that I brought it down. Now I have a new dividend. What is my new dividend, Lena?
37.
37. Okay. Done with that step. You cross it out like that. Don't cross it out heavily because you need to be able to still read it when you're looking at your steps. Next, we just do it all over again. We divide. We see how many times our divisor will go into our new dividend. Mason, how many times will 4 go into 37?
8 times.
Let's think about it. So 4 times 8 is what? Don't stress. 4 times 8 is what?
32.
32. That's a little far from 37, so let's just check in our heads to see if there's something closer. Okay, we know 4 times 8 could be it, but it's a little far, so let's think of what comes next. What's 4 times 9? 36. Is that closer to 37? Let's just check one more time to see if there's nothing closer. What's 4 times 10? 40. That's close to 37, but it's bigger. So can it be that? So what does it have to be? So how many times does 4 go into 37? 9 times. And so we put it above the digit we just brought down. We just brought down 7. So that means the answer to our division goes right above that 7. Okay. Colin, next we multiply. We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor, which means what's our multiplication equation?
9 times 4.
9 times 4. And 9 times 4 equals?
36.
36. We line that up with the new dividend. And now we subtract. We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend. Zadie, 37 minus 36 is what? 1. Carla, are we done?
No, we have to bring down.
No, we still have digits we haven't used yet. So we need to go to the next digit that hasn't been used, which is what, Carla?
0.
0. And we draw an arrow to show that we brought it down. And now we have a new dividend. Carla, what's our new dividend?
A new dividend is 10.
Our new dividend is 10. Bless you. Now we got to go around again. Aaron, we divide. We see how many times our divisor will go into our new dividend. So we're seeing how many times what will go into what, Aaron?
We're seeing how many times 4, our divisor, can go into our new dividend 10.
How many times does 4 go into 10 without going over? 2 times. We know the answer to our division goes right above the digit we just brought down. We just brought down the 0, so we know 2 goes above the 0. Okay. Next we multiply. We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor, which, Lena, means what's our multiplication equation? We multiply the digit we just got by our divisor. Bless you. What's the digit we just got? 10 is the digit we just got? Is 10 a digit? It's a number because it has 2 digits in it. So what's the digit we just got? We literally just wrote it. It was the last thing we wrote. What? Was this 0 the last thing we wrote? That was the bring down step. What step did we just do? We're on multiply, which means we just did what step? So what's the digit we just got? 2. Times our divisor, which is? That's our new dividend. What's our divisor? Divisor is always the same. It never changes. In one problem, it will be the same the whole time. So 2 is the digit we just got. What's our divisor? 4. 2 times 4 is 8. We line that up with our new dividend. Aaron. Now we subtract. We subtract the answer to our multiplication problem from our new dividend, which means we're doing what subtraction problem? 10 minus 8, which equals 2. Now we check for something to bring down. Zari, do we have anything to bring down? No, we see digits, we see arrows, we see no digits available in our dividend, so we do what with that 2?
We bring it up to.
What do we have to do first? We have to do something, but first.
We have to check. We'll compare.
Compare. Is 2 less than our divisor 4?
Yes.
So 2 is the remainder. So that means 1,970 divided by 4 is what?
492 remainder 2.
492 remainder 2. So now we need to answer the question. So it travels a little more than blank feet each minute. We know whatever the remainder is, it's the leftovers of the dividend. So, we know it travels how many full feet in each minute? Mason? 492. But there's 2 feet left over. So that means the answer is not, we never add the remainder to our quotient. To our quotient. We never do that. So the answer is not a little more than 492. It's just a little more than 494. It's just a little more than 492 feet each minute. Because we know there's 492 feet it travels in a minute, but then it still has 2 left. So that means that 2 feet is kind of split between those 4 minutes. It's like 30 seconds each minute extra. I'm sorry, half a foot each minute. So it's like 492 and a half feet each minute. That's all that means, is these 2 feet are split among this 4 minutes. Okay. So tonight I'm going to do that same thing where I give you 2 problems and you're going to solve them. Everybody listen. They're going to be word problems. So I'm going to be looking for all notes. Notes, labels, in addition to the actual math. Does everybody understand? Because we're going to keep working on this word problem stuff until the end of 4th grade. And then you'll keep working on it all through 5th grade. And then you'll keep working on it literally until you stop taking math, whenever that is. You will keep working on word problems. So you're going to have 2 word problems again tonight. I need to see notes, labels, correct math. Use your math book to help you. Okay, go ahead and put those away.